really being an ally to the African community. So I'm from Ghana. I'm a first-generation Ghanian American. And I always tell my story that when I was growing up here, it wasn't cool to be African. I'm honest, my name is Stephanie Arthur. Conveniently, my name was so Americanized that I could just blend in, right? And so if you're from Ghana, you know that the last name Arthur comes from the Cape Coast. My father was Fanti, my mother's Ashanti, and so I was able to kind of adjust and assimilate without people identifying that I was African because of all of the stereotypes that Africans had to face, the negative stereotypes. I wasn't too proud. So it wasn't until grad school that my brother bought a ticket for me to go to Ghana. He forced me to go to Ghana because I was on break, that I realized how important my culture was. So what was supposed to be a 2-week ticket, I extended it for 4 weeks, lost my job because I just loved Ghana. I mean, I was traveling by myself and my parents were just like nervous. I was going from Kumasi to Accra, everywhere by myself because I was just in awe of a country that I was a part of. And so, like it says in the program, I am a political strategist, and I started an organization called the African Leadership Project. And in 2010, BCC hosted us. And so the mission for the organization is really to harness the political talent and business acumen of young professional Africans, right? So when we look across this country in cities like New York, DC, Minnesota, LA, Baltimore County, the African community is growing, but there's no reflective leadership in our government, right? And we are educated, we are talented, we are getting, PhDs and law degrees. This year, actually this summer, 2013, July, Minnesota elected their first African to the city council. Wow. Somalian community is growing in Minnesota, and they decided to run their own candidate. We have the power to do that. Oh, yes. The time is ripe for Africans to get into government, right? It's not enough to just vote for your elected. You want to see yourselves in City Hall, right? And this is what that organization is about. And so I'm thankful that Jean, BCC, Catherine, they're recognizing African women with this event. I just think that, women can do amazing things. This past citywide election, a young lady, young Ghanian woman, she's only 27, ran for city council. Though she didn't win, that makes a statement. Oh, yes. She raised $64,000. Wow. Who raises that? The first time out, being an African, not having the Democratic Party behind you, right? And so I talk about that because it speaks to kind of what our ability is and what our potential is. So I just want to thank everyone here. And see yourselves in the halls of City Hall and in Trenton and in DC. This organization advocates for people to get, on Capitol Hill. I want to see African faces. We are that talented. I want to see us leading J.P. Morgan. We just have the ability to do so many things, and because we're not exposed, right, we don't think that. I'll just lastly say that, growing up in an African household, you're either told to be a nurse, or to be a doctor, or to go to law school. I majored in criminal justice. My mother was pissed, right? I run political campaigns. My mother doesn't get it until I showed her the African man that got elected to city council, until I showed her the African girl running for city council, and she said, I see what you're doing and why you're doing it. So thank you again, and I am humbled by this honor.